Coming up in Let's Play Cards, we have a look at the new balance changes to the cards. We also have a look at the 5 new promo cards introduced over the last weekend. And then lastly, we play a game with one of my new decks built around the British new card. Coming up. Greetings and welcome. I am Mengel and this is Cards, the World War II collectible card game by 1939 Games. So let's have a look at the new card changes that was introduced last week. If you haven't played recently or haven't had a look on Discord at the changes, brace yourself. It is actually game changing. I know a lot of my favorite cards have been changed, and a lot of my decks I will need to basically recraft or swap out some of the cards. So without further ado, let's have a look. Alright, so I stay in South Africa, Southern Atmosphere, and that being said, the devs were having summer holidays. So our extended holidays, summer holidays, are over Christmas period, and we have fair weather all around in Cape Town, South Africa, where I stay. So yes, that's a nice thing for us. It feels strange seeing in the movies and TV shows people having white Christmas. We don't have that. We're in shorts and Hawaiian shirts and having barbecues outside at that time of the year. But wonderful. I hope you guys are enjoying your holidays in the northern atmosphere in your summertime. It's getting warmer here now as well, so it seems the seasons are changing this side. Cool, so back to cards. I'm not going to read through all of the text over here of the devs, but long story short is they knew this was going to be a big change and that the community is probably not going to be happy, or a great deal of the community is probably not going to be happy about this. And they kind of explain their reasoning for the card changes. So if you are interested about the reasoning, go have a read on Cards channel in Discord under the Dev Blogs text room. So first up, 1 cost, Desert Rats, British card. Deal 2 damage to enemy unit and pin it. This was a staple, kind of an auto-include limited card for British players. It's been changed from 2 damage to 1 damage, and you still get to pin the enemy unit. Still a good card. Also, before I continue, these are my thoughts, obviously, needless to say, on these cards, and I will be giving my opinion from my personal play style. So my British faction cards are the 5th tier in my personal collection, so I've got the least British cards and play the least with the British. So obviously this does not affect me a great deal, but I am glad for going up against British players because this was a very strong card and it was an order card. Obviously current meta with the British is commandos and order decks, which personally annoys me, but yes, good, I'm happy with that. I'm actually gonna add a happy emote. Clap. There you go. Next up, Russian. From the people. Deal 3 damage to a unit. It used to be a 2 cost, it's now a 3 cost. I feel this is a good change. This card was too cheap and it did a great deal of damage, and this is obviously only a common card, so I do agree that this is a good change. This is not good for me at all. I am very, very upset with this change on the German Sudden Strike card. It's still a 2 cost, and then you used to be able to destroy a 3 credit or less enemy unit. It's been changed to 2 credits or less. This changes my game completely, and I do feel this change. I would urge the devs to change it at least in a cost to maybe a 3 cost. I would even pay 4 cost for this card, but changing it from a 3 credit to a 2 credit, it is a joke. I feel this card is very underwhelming for a limited card, and this really hurts because obviously I'm a German faction fanboy. This is my primary faction I play with, but this really hurts. I am not happy about that at all. One of my other favorite cards, Tactical Strike, it's also been greatly nerfed, and I'm also not very happy about this change. 4 cost, order card, Tactical Strike. Deal 2 damage to an enemy unit. You get to deal 4 damage instead if it's still in the support line or in the support line. And then you get to draw a card. Only thing that's changed is draw a card has been removed. I rely on this card for card draw, so now I'll probably have to, with my ally faction, have some methods of card draw in my deck. This is not as bad as Sudden Strike, but still, I'm not so happy. Maybe make it a 5 cost, or I don't know. Yeah, personally, I obviously don't have enough data and I don't play enough to have a good idea, but it definitely feels like the devs are kind of twisting our arms to play other cards and not always the auto-include cards. That being said, Sky Barons, they feel didn't get enough playtime, so to speak, so they changed it. So now, where you used to get your card draw from Tactical Strike, you need to get your card draw from Sky Barons. So they are kind of twisting my arm. Not pulling my arm or finger, more like twisting my arm to take out Tactical Strike and rather play with Sky Barons. Or probably add one of those and 2 of these type of thing. So 4 cost, German order card, Sky Barons, destroy target air unit. And this is too conditional. I mean, I'd rather do 4 damage to an enemy in the support line, and now I have to kind of wait for him to play a target air unit before I can play it. This is still strong. I mean, you get to destroy the air unit. So worst case scenario, it's probably worthwhile to at least have one of these cards in your deck. So yeah, this is a buff, so I'll definitely add one of them into my deck, and I'll definitely take out 1 or 2 of copies of this Tactical Strike. So this is obviously good. Combined Arms, mixed feelings, but I guess it's a good change. It's a 1 cost German order card, Combined Arms. The friendly tank unit gets +1/1, so if you play a tank. If you control an infantry or air unit on the board as well, okay. So you've got a tank, you play this on your tank on the field. Sorry, I know this card, but it's just difficult the reading. Hence they actually state here they've made the reading more clear as well. So you've got a tank on the table, a unit, and then if you've got a infantry unit on the table, that tank gets +1/1. If you've got an air unit on the table, it gets +1/1. If you've got both infantry and air and a tank, and you play this card on your tank unit, you used to get +3/3 if you control both. So this has been changed now just to friendly tank unit gets +1/1 for each non-tank unit type you control. So this simplifies the reading, and it's nice. I mean, you can have any other non-tank unit, infantry, artillery, air units, and then you'll get +1/1 for each one of those. So this is actually a nice buff improvement as well. Russian cards. Chaika. This one didn't bother me that much. It is a mainstay of the Soviet self-sacrifice decks. While that deck as a whole is not an issue, the Chaika is a bit too efficient at the front end against aggressive decks. Okay. Alright, used to be a 2 cost, 1 operation cost. 1-3. If it gets destroyed, you get to add a secondary air unit to the table in the place of this one where it's destroyed into the support line. So it's just been changed to a 1-2. Yeah, I mean, I don't play with this card a great deal, and it's annoying, but it didn't bother me that much, to be honest. Japanese Type 95 Hagu. It's 2 cost, 1 operation cost. It's still a 2-2 tank unit, and it's used to have the smoke screen, and then when it does attack it gets +2 against infantry. I never used to play this card, and I think they changed it because this card never saw any matches. When an order is given, deal 1 damage to the HQ of the player giving the order. This goes both ways. If you play an order card with this card on the table, you take damage. If your opponent plays an order, he takes damage. Obviously, what you do with this card is you add it with a whole bunch of units, and you just sit back, and if you go up against the annoying British player, smug player playing with his order decks, which is obviously the current meta, let him have the time of his life. Every time he plays an order, you're gonna get to do 1 damage to him. So I'm happy about that. It's a nice little counter. Alright, and then the last one up, it's the I always get mixed up with the different icons. That is British. And this is an American one, isn't it? Dodds. 3 cost, 2 operation, 2-2, deal 2 damage to enemy target ground units. I've seen a lot of these cards being played, so yes, obviously it used to be a 2-4, it's now a 2-3. So yeah, feels right. I don't have any issues with that. Cool, so yes, I guess overall mixed emotions from myself on my reactions to the new card changes. Nothing will ever be the same. Happy, yeah. This is not happy at all. I can live with that. Yeah. I'm happy about this one. And personally, it could have stayed 2-4, but I guess there was people being those are obviously people reacting to this reasoning, playing the the order decks. That's like, no. Okay, enough of my rambling. This is the new card changes that came out, and we will be building new decks around some of my staple cards that I used to auto include. And yes, devs, if you're listening, objective succeeded. I will be changing some of these cards and adding Sky Barons and some of the other cards. Let's see how that goes. Okay then, so let's have a talk about the promo cards that came out. OP! Alright, let's have a talk about the 5 new 1 per faction limited cards that was introduced over the promo weekend. My thoughts about them, and listed from my least favorite to my personal favorite. Excuse my ignorance, I do not know Japanese tanks. Playing games and watching documentaries, always look at the American, Russian and German vehicles and tanks, etc. So that is mainly my units I mostly enjoy, vehicles I mostly enjoy and play with and look at. And yes, so Type 98 Kenny, it's a 3-1, costs 2, 0 operation cost, and it's got a special ability, can only attack if you have attacked with another unit this turn. So this is a good card. All of these cards are good, and some of them I feel is a bit overpowered personally, so there's going to be some crazy plays going forward. So this card is a good card. This is obviously a card you play early in the game and you try getting a momentum going that your opponent cannot recover from, especially now with the card changes now as well, dealing damage to your opponent playing order decks. It's another benefit to playing this card now. And then secondly, if you own the elite regiment unit that deals damage to the enemy HQ when one of your units gets destroyed, this will combo nice from that as well. So this is a good card. I would definitely add this in my Japanese decks. Obviously their theme, it's keeping to the theme. It's an aggressive deck, low cost units, low cost operation cost, and just keeps pounding damage to the enemy HQ. So yes, this is a good card. I definitely have a few ideas playing with this card. Second card that was, and this is listed once again from least favorite to favorite, not necessarily the way it was revealed over the promo weekend. And on the topic of promo weekend, if you're not sure what it was and if you are interested to know what it was, you can have a look at my previous video. There will be a link down in the comments section, or maybe the description section. Have a look if you are interested. That being said, so my second least favorite out of the 5 is the German faction Fallschirmjäger. It's a 2 cost, 1 operation cost, 2/2 infantry unit, and deployment. It gets +1/1 for each non-infantry unit type you control. So my thoughts being, this would go nice with your combined arms. So your tanks and your infantry can kind of complement each other with the combined arms. That's obviously Germany's theme I've taken personally from this game, is that they want you to have a infantry, tank and a air unit combined deck. And I will still do one of those in the near future. Maybe after my Bombs Away USA Bomber personal challenge deck, I would do that. So this is a nice card, lots of potential, but if I'm to list them in the top 5 that came out over the promo weekend, necessarily not one of my most favorite cards, but still very nice card, and I'm definitely going to play with this card. Nice development choices there from 1939 games. So my third favorite is the American 3 cost, 1 operation cost, 332nd Engineer Regiment infantry unit, which is a 2/2, and it's got a special ability, deployment. Gain 1 credit slot, well, 1 extra credit slot. I like this card very much for the reason you used to only play order credit cards, which increases your credit slots. Now you get, for 1 extra cost, you get to play a infantry unit card. It's an infantry unit on the table, but you get an extra credit slot. Not much to say about it, but it's I would rather lean towards this personally, and because you're gaining credit slots, it kind of justifies itself for being in your deck. So not necessarily overpowered card, but I like this card as well. I see more personal usability from this card. My second favorite card from the promo cards is a Russian card, and I know I am a German fanboy. You'll see obviously the most favorite one being a British one, so I guess the developers had another successful promo cards ideas of what they did, because this is kind of the British one is kind of inspiring me to play more with British cards. So yes, that from my part, that was good development choices the devs made. So the Russian card was a 7 cost, 2 operation cost, 756 regiments. these oaks were the guys that with the Russian elite infantry units. They planted the Russian flag on the Reichstag, the German parliamentary building. So I'm a bit not so happy with the artwork. I would have liked to have more, you know, bit of a more action type of artwork, or showcasing, you know, how good these oaks were a bit better. It feels, because when I first saw this card, I thought it was like just a mortar unit or something. No disrespect to mortar squads out there, that, or people that are or used to do mortars, that, I mean, they are a pivotal part of the war effort, but still, I would have liked a bit of a more of a urban fight scene or something, maybe artwork type of thing, but that's just my personal opinion. That being said, it's a 7/7, and when this unit attacks and destroys a unit, deal excess damage to the enemy HQ. So immediately one is thinking to boost, maybe with a British ally cup of tea, and to get his maybe defense higher and play a naval support or something in those lines, or just straight up with American allies, straight up boost his 7/7 stats higher to do more damage to them. This is not an easy card to get off the table, and it's an expensive card to play, but this is a very good card, and I feel there's going to be some crazy decks coming out in the next 2 months built around this card. Finally, my favorite card is the Royal West Kents. 5 cost, 1 operation cost. It's a 2/5. All of them is limited, all 5 of them. Limited card. When a friendly guard unit is attacked, it deals damage equal to its defense. So I've built a deck around this card, and that's the one we're going to play next up. I'll quickly run through the deck list and then I'll play a game. And yes, this is going to be interesting. I don't know if the British players out there is going to create some crazy order decks with this card included. It's going to be interesting, because this card is just going to... You're going to have a lot of guards in your deck, and that is the theme of the British: never give in, never surrender, and just survivability. And this card is definitely going to help regarding that. So yes, friends, good times ahead. We'll see how this goes, and yep. Take it from there. So this is what I've done with that new promo card. So we've got the USAR, which is United States Army Corps of Engineers. Last one of my previous episodes, I wasn't sure what that was, but this is what it stands for, and that's what it is. So I've got 2 copies of this. I've got Patton. He was a general in the Second World War. I've added the battalion. If I go up against rush decks, cheap unit swarm decks, I'll rely on this card to deal a bit of damage, hopefully take up 2 to 4 of the opponent. Cup of tea, boosted defense, naval support to equalize the defensive value towards the attacking value. The engineers, which I stated I like as well, to add more defensive value. Blockade, just if I go up against a opponent playing order cards, I can deal damage to a target, and also then, I guess not, no, that's stated incorrectly. I get to double the cost of a random card in the opponent's hand. So this is just an annoying card just to kind of hinder him. Card draw, got an elite, so I'll play with it. This is one of my guard units, so you'll be seeing more guard units. double some costs in his hand on the orders this side around. Also guard. Got another elite on the American side. So here is the guard units. So we've got the Churchill, 4 copies, and then we've got the Royal West Kents. So when a friendly guard unit is attacked by an enemy, it deals damage equal to its defense. So you just want a lot of defense on your units, and when they attack your units, you just deal that damage back to them. That's it. You just keep defending until he kind of runs out of cards, I guess, and then you counter. So we'll see how fun it is to play with this deck. That was my one complaint with my Commonwealth deck, was never give in, was that the matches were extremely long. I like to play with Japanese and Germans and play blitz rush decks. Grenadier Guards, love this card. My top 3 favorite in the British. Just also love that artwork. This is what I was referring to regarding the Russian promo limited card. The artwork is just so nice. Such an action scene. Wow, they trace back to 1656. Sure. Okay. Carpet bombing. Just, yeah, it's if I go up against an opponent with a bunch of enemy units on the table, hopefully take out some of them. We'll see how this goes. And then lastly, the Pershing. Because I've got the elite and we might as well play with it. My big boy. You want to have 1 or 2 like hard-hitting cards in your deck. And this is mine. I love tanks. Okay, so that is the lineup of this deck. Let's go try it out. Der Wolf. So I'm going up against Japanese. So this is going to be very nice. Interesting. Welcome, mate. Keep calm and carry on. So air landing brigade will be played probably in 2 rounds time, I guess. I've got nothing to do with that. It's always difficult if you build a deck to kind of, you know, you don't know what you're going to go up against, so it's always difficult to kind of try and tick all those boxes. You want your own card draw, you want to have, you know, ways to dealing with air units, you want ways of dealing with different units. So this is going to be too early to play that card. Why is... Oh, it used to be a 2-4. Okay, so... This is not gonna change anything. Okay, let's play my air landing brigade, and then let's play the battalion as well. But he's got a... What? Oh, he's not a Brit, damn it. Whoops. Noob. You can see I don't play with these cards quite often. If this game is going to be very short, I'll play now. I mean, we have to try my deck, at least. So let's give all my other units. He's not going to attack my air landing brigade because he doesn't want to retreat back to his hand. Actually, should actually get to play a guard on this card. That would be like very difficult. Oof. Interesting. These are all infantry. We probably want to destroy that card. And then he's got a bleeds. And then we get to destroy it. We send this back to the front. So these cards, I actually need to play them on my guards, and I don't have any. That is the thinking behind this deck, is to play those cards on my guards. So, yep, interesting. And the guards would obviously block these fighters as well, so I should definitely play a guard next round. And then once I've got the guard up, I can play my Royal West Kent. And am I kind of regretting now as well not having... Sorry, I'm just thinking. Also kind of regretting not having any fortification cards to increase my HP. I've got that we can do it. I actually want him to play more units so I can carpet bomb them. Yes. But let's just do one. Okay, so let's play Convoy. More cards incoming. And let's apply the pressure. This is not ideal. This would have been better played on the Grenadier Guards, and then obviously it would deal 9 damage, but I mean I want to apply the pressure from the front. And another one. And this little guy's gonna stay right here. He is player 3946. Yeah, I would have done the same. He's got a lot of card options. Easy. Oh, there we go. Let's send this guy to the front now. So whenever this unit is attacked, it deals 8 damage. It used to be 9. Okay. Oldie, but it's a goodie. Send it to the front. No point in playing this, I'll just get a lot of damage dealt to my HQ, so he's kind of countering my carpet bombing. Okay, and I've got no way of getting rid of that. Gonna have to play this. It's only 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's game. There's no way I'm getting back from this. Might as well. Go out with a boom. Alright, you get the idea. So what I'll do is I'll play a bit with it and tweak it, and then by the next episode I'll show you some proper gameplay of this idea of mine. It's not always a win, but I wanted to share my first time playing it with you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, you have yourselves a wonderful week, and lekker dag, and bye bye. Alright, I am from the South Africa, so we enjoy Christmas in the summertime.